What's going on, y'all? Raw Southern Culture Uncut back again at the Harborwalk with Sophire. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let her introduce herself and we gonna get this shit going, man. Let's go.
Alright, peace and love y'all. It's your girl Sophia, Sophia Jackson. Hey with my dude, Fox Guys Dance with the Harborwalk series. About to get it popping for you. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So first off, for the people that don't know and the new people tapping in, how long you been doing music and how'd you even get into it, the music, just in general?
Um, well, honestly, I've been doing music for a minute, like for a hot minute. Like I've always had a love for music since a child. Um, Shouts out to a really strong influence that I had growing up, Mr. P.F.E. Yole. Hello. He really did instill a strong love for music and a strong uh, desire to want to learn about music, not to just do it, but to actually learn about it. So from there, I started, of course, singing in middle school and high school. I did band. I played the saxophone, did a little flute. Um,
Not to cut you off,
yeah.
but I know Drumline was a huge movie that had like a lot of influence. Was that a big thing? Like when
Oh,
you
most
was
definitely, most definitely. The drumline era is my era.
okay.
So yeah, that was definitely a big thing
Band
when
was
we were
like a
coming
lot
up.
bigger.
Band was live.
Right, right.
It was way bigger.
Is that like still a thing around this area? Right
Not
here,
really, not nearly as much as it was when I was coming up. Like
okay,
our band, when we lined up, it was literally like 100 plus kids. Like, the line would wrap around the building when we lined up, getting ready to go,
right,
on the field. Like it was the I don't know. I even asked my son that, like, what's so different? Like, why don't y'all really want to be involved, in things? Because for us, it was just like natural. It was
right,
like that wasn't even we wasn't even wondering whether we were going to be in the extracurricular activities because that was just something you pretty much were looking forward to, coming up as a child. Like I know for me, um, Choppy homecoming, that's a holiday. I get out of school early to go to Choppy homecoming parade. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
that was that was
But
just
it's
kind
not
of
a thing like that,
it's not the
and you don't
same.
really know.
It's not the same. It's not the same. And I don't know what happened. Um, I don't know what shifted with those traditions and our desire to want to be involved like that. I mean, you still have kids that still participate in band and chorus and stuff like that. But like I said, from what I see, um, just looking at the kids and going to different programs and stuff like that, it's nothing like what it used to be. Nothing like what it used to be.
Oh
Kind of
no.
disappointing.
Um, what do you think? Some things that could be done to like get the youth involved in it is like. Do you feel like it's a disconnect between one
Absolutely,
generation to the next?
absolutely. The disconnect is, I think, it lies in the actual programming and also not to take or discredit from anybody who's in these positions currently, but who you put in these positions. Because I know for me, you know, Mr. Singleton wasn't having it. But he did have a way to still connect with us. To like he wasn't playing about what he was saying, but
Right.
at the same time we respected that. And it made us want to show up and perform, and do our best. Um, Shout out to Tyrone Singleton, yes sir.
What's some of the things that are like going on that you say the youth participating in, or even the adults in this area? Like, how do you see it? Like,
You mean currently?
yeah, currently,
You mean things that they are participating
like
in
this,
currently?
you said they not really participating in like the band and the parades and stuff like that. Aren't the same. But like, is there anything that is going right now around here? You think?
I mean, I really don't see anything like really on the forefront like that. I mean, I seen some groups like they're starting like some dance groups with the younger girls, um, and I also seen like the line dancing groups and stuff like that,
Hmm.
where a lot of younger people are getting involved with that, which to me is really cool because I like the fact that the party is coming back to the party and it's not just everybody standing around looking at each other looking stupid. Um, so yeah, I do like that. But as far as programming specifically for the kids, I don't really see too much of that. Like you had Premier Band, they were doing their thing at one point in time. I'm not really sure, you know, if they're still active, but I really did think that was like, a really, um, it was a dope program for those kids. It was a way for them to connect with one another. It was a way for them to learn about music. It was a way for them to travel. Because for me, that was another one of the big things about being involved. You got a chance to get out of Georgetown.
Right.
You got a chance to go to different band competitions or chorus competitions. You got a chance to meet different people because some people that I met way back in high school, I still, kicking with now. So um, it's definitely a chance for them to expand. So it's needed. But we all know cash rules everything around me, cream get the money, and all of those types of funding seems like they're going to other programming. A lot of times to sports, the arts always seem to get pushed to the back burner.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I heard that
oh
a
yeah,
lot. I heard that
most
a lot.
definitely, and it's been that way. It's been that way since I was a kid. I was thankful for like Project Beach, the Gifted and Talented program, that did allow me also again to uh, glean from many different artists. Um, in many different mediums, different art techniques to be
Who,
able to,
who would you say influenced you? I wouldn't say the most, but influence you often, I guess, as far as music artists. Not
music
specific to
artists.
any genre, but just will help craft your sound. That
I, I would definitely have to give. I mean, that's hard for me. That's hard
it
for me because,
expands so much.
yeah, because I'm not just like a one genre type of girl.
Right.
But coming up, my mom, she would always play Sade. So it's like all her music was ingrained in my mind, from a child. Um, Bob Marley, me getting older and understanding his music more, it's definitely made a really large impact on my life as an adult and coming to understand the way that the world works and where we stay in our position in it.
How did like this city specifically, your hometown, influence or mold the music that you made? Even what I'm saying, a lot of people, I feel like everybody around here went to church in like smaller
Oh,
areas. They had to sing on
absolutely.
the choir, so maybe that
Absolutely.
influenced like your choice of music that you chose to pursue or anything like
Maybe.
that.
I mean, if, like I said, if I was like a one kind of music kind of girl, I could say that. But like I said, I just like good music. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I mean, if it's jazz, Nina Simone, Coltrane, going back or coming forward, Jay Z. Like I just, I appreciate good music. So
Nah,
um,
me too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely appreciate good
So
music.
but yeah, to go back to that question you asked me about kids and the programming.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's, if anything, because I always think about the fact of why am I still here? Because people ask me that a lot. Why are you still here? Apart from other life situations,
Hmm.
I know that there has to be a bigger purpose, you know, with me still being here and having all this in me that I want to share and that I want to uh, be able to instill into this next generation, you know, because we got to let them know that we actually care. I think we're kind of caught up in our own lives that we're not even thinking about what we're not, you know, putting together for the generation coming up behind us.
All right. Um, I personally feel like there's a lack of, I guess, community unity in a sense, or just psychologically where we don't even perceive us is like one collective group.
Oh,
And
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that's even within our own family unit.
right,
So that's what the first step is. What we really gotta fix because I mean, you know, if we can't fix our own, sweep on our own front door, so to speak, you know,
right,
it's kind of hard to be able to go out and bring other people together. You know.
yeah.
So,
So to be honest, that really feels like some sort of therapy that's kind of needed to an extent. Do you feel? I've heard this before. I agree, but do you feel like most black people need therapy?
absolutely, absolutely, and it might not be in the traditional sense of therapy that you know you go lay down on somebody's couch type therapy.
Right,
Um, but finding some kind of way to process experiences and to just make sense of life. I
right,
think we definitely do need that because it's just not our own experiences that we are carrying. You know, it's the experiences of our ancestors as well that's been passed through DNA that we don't even know about. So you know, talking about those thoughts, talking about those feelings, and trying to just sort things out. You know, um,
speaking of ancestors and heritage, like where we're from is like that's like a big, I don't want to say topic, but it's a big foundation to the culture here. Just what I mean, the history of us and what
mhm,
black people have been through.
absolutely.
And I don't know if everybody who may be tuning in is aware of that. So could you give like a brief rundown just of
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know, of course, the thing that people always talk about um, when we speak about the history of Georgetown is the rice production, of course, which, of course, I'm not going to take anything from it. It was, you know, number one in the world at that particular time. So it kind of gives you an idea of the type of work that was being done.
right,
So um, I don't want to say they glorify that period or era because the credit is definitely due to the people who did that work. Not so much those who felt like they were the proprietors or the masterminds of putting that operation together. Not so much,
right.
but the ones who were actually out there and had the know-how to make their operations work. You know,
Talk the
so
talk.
that's the biggest thing that I take away from that era. Um, Not so much because I think people kind of get stuck in the whole idea of people being slaves, that we kind of lose our power in what that actually meant. Because without those people,
None of it would have been going on.
none of it would have been possible.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that to me is the biggest thing, um, especially for young people of color in understanding that story. That that same fire, that same strength, that same ingenuity that those people possess is still in you.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. So hopefully some new people, some new faces, and some new minds that can tap in
Oh
and
yeah.
take heed to some of the ideas and some of your thoughts.
Oh
Because you've
thanks.
been spitting some knowledge, or we only got a short amount of time, but just in the time that we've been talking, I can tell where your mind is at with everything, and I think more people should get there to that point. Um,
Well,
what you think
it's
I
a
get people to that?
process.
What you think I get people to that point actually,
Well, you
or at
know
least
what?
around here, or how like-minded of this city? I mean,
There are a lot of like-minded individuals. You would be surprised how many people feel and think the way that I do when it comes to the history, when it comes to where we stand as a people with the whole gentrification movement of Georgetown going on.
all
There,
right,
you know, there are a lot of people who, just like me, we see what's going on, you know. And currently are coming together to put those like minds together
As
to make
far as like community meetings and things like
right,
that.
right,
Okay.
right. So soon we'll be sharing that information, but um, it's time. It's definitely time. We had a community meeting the other day at the courthouse where they were deciding on the zoning in Browns Ferry for a potential business. And so the opposing side, or rather the side that was purchasing property, wanted to rezone the property to commercial from residential. Now, what that meant is that there would be higher taxes for those people who lived in that area. And potentially those higher taxes could lead to, those people losing their property. We've seen that story many times. So where we are right now is mobilizing to understand exactly what's going on around us. We can't just sit there and act like we don't see it. We can do that, but it's not going to be to our benefit at all. Quickly, we see that the West End is changing, and efforts are being made to have a certain type of lifestyle in that area. Which it's nothing wrong with an upgrade. I'm not I'm not mad at that because if we really gonna keep it 1,000, come on, you know
Keep it 1,000.
we
Keep it 1,000.
definitely as a people have to take more pride. We have to take more pride in our properties. We have to take more pride in um, when grandma and granddaddy leaving you land. Don't just be so willy nilly with it. You know, don't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna get this quick 50 bands up off the granny house of them." Like you really have to start looking at this thing way more strategically. We ain't been playing uh, chess. Hell, we ain't even been we playing checkers. We been playing Connect Four or something. You know what I'm saying? And this thing is really getting real out here.
Crunch time.
Yes sir, yes sir. So we got to put our boots on the ground. Come on now, so that we can get in line and do them dances. Let's get in line and get some shit done. You feel me? For real. I know I was getting on my soapbox. Let me jump off. My bad. Okay.
Nah, no. Man, it's a lot of things going on as I'm traveling around. There's a lot that Georgetown is doing great. You know what I'm saying, as a city. You know what I'm saying, as I'm seeing from place to place,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of stuff that I feel like Georgetown is still like back on, and I feel like that. I guess crab in the bucket mentality is still a thing. Do you feel like that's still a thing here, or I'm just reading it wrong?
Well, when we look at that crab in the bucket mentality, and that's why I said it's necessary for us to have some type of therapy or at least some type of spiritual guidance, somebody who can talk some sense to you, and steer you in the right direction when you're coming with the craziness. When you're coming with thoughts that really don't make sense, if you actually put a little rationality in it, and you have somebody to keep it real with you and let you know that you're not always right. And I think that's where we are as people in terms of us, like, working out those kinks. Um, we definitely gotta one step in there. We definitely gotta break it down a little bit more. Because that crab in the bucket mentality is really fear. It's fear of the next man getting on and you not getting on. But what we're not realizing is that same fear is what's crippling us as people. Because if you're not thinking about, your brother not getting on, and what you're thinking about is, I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure that he does get on.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure, that sis, everybody sees her work, just because that's my people's. We got to start thinking about it that way,
Right.
and not thinking about, oh, I could have did that better or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you can, okay, we'll do it. You know, and then the next man to support you like that. You
Right.
know, but like I said, it's just fear, and we got to get over that fear. And I'm guilty of it too. So I ain't even standing here pointing my finger at nobody because I'm pointing it right back at myself. You know.
No, I
Yeah.
feel that. I feel that. I just out of curiosity, so people can, I don't know, I guess get a, if somebody was to move here from Kentucky, you know what I'm saying, you painting a picture of what it's like out here, you know what I'm saying, from everything, is it in this area, would you say is a rise in black businesses here as well? Or do you not think it's kind of, is that steady?
Well, um, and so to keep it real, so if you keep it real, okay, I'm gonna keep it real. When it comes to the black business in Georgetown, they're few and far between. When you talk about the presence of black business now versus what it was years ago, big difference. Big difference. I feel like it's plummeted a lot. Um,
Mm,
the generations before us, I don't want to say they were more, this is what it was. They understood They understood what it was because they were coming out of a different time. I think this generation, we kind of got a little too comfortable. And it's like we don't realize how important it is for us to support those businesses and for them to be present. You know, um, there was more of, I won't say a grassroots effort back then, but there was more cohesion, amongst us. And I think that definitely makes a difference when you look at, like I said, the numbers now of black business versus back then. And also, let's keep it real. Once again, this real estate game is not a game. It is not a game. If you ain't got big bucks, and a lot of times in Georgetown right now at this point, because it's starting to get like wow, when it comes to getting properties and being able to start your own business here, because a lot of outside entities have interest here. So with that interest, they come in with big money to be able to attain, you know, those things. So it kind of knocks a lot of people out of the box of being able to start those businesses. So that again, that's where it comes back to us coming together. The power of a fist is stronger than an open hand. So this is something that we just gotta recognize and be able to act on moving forward.
nah, for sure, man. To be honest, I wish I had a podcast and I could talk to you for like 2 hours on it because I feel like you have a lot of like your mind is there, like is right there where everybody should be at, you
It's
know.
getting there. I ain't gonna take
Like
it's
I
getting
try to
there.
have these same type of conversations with people on a regular basis, and
Hmm.
not even just pertaining to Georgetown, but different areas. Um, I said hopefully some of the things that you said might inspire somebody in Charlotte or inspire somebody in
Oh yeah, because in
Louisiana, because
every ghetto, in every
it's the
city,
same thing,
same story.
Um,
Same story.
little differences here and there,
Yep, yep. Give and take the slang and the lingo.
Speaking of, what's some differences of slangs or lingo or some type of food that y'all just here in Georgetown, something that set Georgetown apart from everywhere?
Well, I mean, I won't say
How you?
because our lingo is geeky.
Okay.
You gotta switch that thing up real quick on them boy. You know what I'm saying? But our lingo is geeky, and I'm proud of it. Um, because that's something historically that we're kind of circling back to. Actually, holding on to those boots and saying, "Yeah, boy, I get you," and being proud about it. Because once again, going back to the generation before us, they had to suppress those things in order for them to get jobs, in order for them to be seen. They had to assimilate, so to speak. So our grandparents kind of discouraged their children from speaking that way, or using those
Right.
type of idioms or whatever have you. And so that's why you see largely, I think, the generation after, unless you had like a grandmama, granddaddy, older auntie you would be around, you might not know that language.
Right.
You know. But yeah, we coming back to it. We out here. We eat crab and shrimp and stuff like that, like everybody else on this water. But yeah, Perlo and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, all right. So being in Texas, they don't even like seafood is not a thing like that.
What?
Soul food not a thing like that for
What they
real.
eating?
They eat barbecue tacos and what I'm saying, shit like that. That's what they be
Yeah.
eating.
Yeah.
So it's interesting from place to place, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we eat
They
barbecue
different
here too, though.
cuisine.
We
Yeah,
big on
yeah,
the
yeah,
barbecue down here too.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So as far as I know, you got a lot of stuff on your that you said just so far in this interview. I know it's a lot brain cooking. Um, how do you integrate those type of thoughts and those type of ideas and concepts into your music? Like, or is that hard to even put into the music?
Not hard at all. I definitely write from the heart because I write all my music and mostly everything that I share is something that I've experienced or felt strongly about. Um, as far as here we go, to the ancestors. Yes, the the thing with me right now with the music is I kind of like took a step back from it for a while because I didn't want to just keep creating more of the same. It's a lot of um, what bitches the bad is, who coochie the fat is type stuff, going on, and it's cool. It's cool if that's what you want to do. Hey, more power to you. But I feel like we've lost a lot of substance, in the music, and we don't really take note of how that music gets into our psyche. It gets into your spirit, um, and largely becomes strongly a part of who you are because it's repetitive and you listening to it. So you're able to regurgitate it. You know, so it's becoming a part of you. So I look at this thing kind of like how you got the food groups and you got the pyramid, and at the bottom is all the stuff you need. All the vegetables, the fruits, all the things that got the nutrients that you need for you to operate. And at the top, you got the little, you know, triangle piece at the top for the BS, for the
Mm-hmm.
sugar and the things you don't need, largely.
All right.
And that's kind of how I look at the music industry right now. It's kind of been flipped, where the substance is the little piece at the top, but everything down at the bottom is the bullshit.
Do you think that that's more on the artist or the people promoting music, like
I
the
mean, I hate to be like a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I do feel like there's an agenda, for the things that are largely promoted, because, the things that are given the most airtime and the most support are things that are largely negative, for our community. It ain't the good stuff. It ain't Toby ain't way, telling you, you know, pray for my niggas. You ain't hearing that on the radio.
Well, okay. Speaking of Toby, some of the artists you listening to now currently?
Oh man, Toby, I'm a big Afrobeats fan, so I love this kid. Uh, I'm all over it. I got so many people I'll be listening to. So many.
Okay. As far as music. I know you've done several different types of things.
Mhm.
If Sophire is in the studio now, what new thing would you try to cook up that you haven't, or would you go back to something you think you've done before?
Now, to keep it real, because I got some good music that I have not shared. Like,
Okay.
honestly, yeah. I looked, through my email the other day, and I'm like, dang, I forgot about this. So I'm like, this stuff is really good. Like, I need to share it. And so I do got some old stuff I'll be sharing, but definitely some new stuff coming from a different perspective, because I was a new mother when I made my first album. Dark Debbie. That was 2014. That was 10 years ago.
Okay.
But now, as a mother of a teenager, you know, I look at the world a whole lot differently than I did at that point. So my concerns are different at this point.
Okay.
And my experience is different at this point than what, because if I didn't learn nothing in that 10 years, and I still talking about the same stuff, something wrong. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Nah, I feel it. I
All
feel it.
right.
So, we're running out of time,
All
and we
right.
are at the end of the harbor walk.
Yes, we
So,
are.
if there's anything that you wanna, is there anything that you wanna tell the guests or leave the viewers with? Is there anything you wanna let them know?
Yeah. One thing I always take along with me that I learned from Cheryl Lee Ralph, beautiful actress, love her, yachty gal. But she said that nothing that God has for you can't be for you. So if it's for you, and don't deny it. And don't deny your gifts. Uh, accept it. Go after it. Believe in yourself. You know, and don't take no for an answer. I'm talking to y'all, and I'm talking to me too. Facts.
Nah, that's dope. I appreciate you even being on the platform,
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
and
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
and this a lot of people will see this. Enough people will see this. The right person will see this. The right person to get the message. And you know what I'm saying, like you said, it might change one person's life. It might change 100 people's life. It might change the whole city or everybody.
you. Hey,
Who knows?
that's why I'm here. If I ain't making no difference, I'm not.
Nah, for sure. Like I said, I appreciate it. Hopefully, we can do this again.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's a
Most stuff.
wrap.
Most stuff.